Well, it's time to head back to the 41st millennium and break out the earplugs, as we're going to be looking at the Howling Banshees of the Eldar. Also, I'm going to be calling them the Eldar throughout this thing, as yes, I know they've been renamed to the Eldari, but for me they're the Eldar and will remain the Eldar, damn it. So, in 2nd edition, they were coming in at 27 points a model, squads of 3 to 7, and yeah, they're your squad option. Stat-wise, movement 6, weapon skill 4, blitz skill 4, strength 3, toughness 3, runes 1, initiative 6, attacks 1, leadership 9. Equipment-wise, they have las pistols, as this is back when things like las pistols and bolters could be used by other races, and obviously they're different to the Imperial ones, but yeah, it's just a las pistol. They also had power swords, aspect armor giving them a 4+ save, and Banshee Mask. So, the Banshee Mask, the main thing of being a Howling Banshee. And what does it do in 2nd edition then? When they declare a charge, they're immune to be targeted by Overwatch, but the unit they are targeting. And for the round of combat they have charged their foe, it's unable to strike back, and so they roll 0 attack dice for that round of combat. Yeah, pretty potent, but that's also it. Now, some of you maybe want to go, Foamy, what about the Exarch? Exarchs are characters in 2nd edition and completely customizable. So yes, you could have one join in the Howling Banshee squad and give it a Banshee mask, but could also be packing a Power Fist and a Melt Gun. And several war gear cards. I will have a say though, the Banshee mask for an Exarch was 12 points. So yeah, Banshees on the charge in 2nd edition, quite mean. As not being able to strike them, and with them having power swords, which are strength 5, yeah, very good at carving up other infantry before they could even do anything. Still, we now move on to 3rd edition, and we have a model update already, and I do think this is one of the more interesting designs. They've also become an elite choice now, and this is basically their primary home till 10th edition, with some exceptions, like in the Graph World Eldar Codex, Bealtan had them as a troop choice. Still, they're 16 points a model, lost an initiative stat rise, but otherwise the same, and the units are now 5 to 10 as well. Equipment-wise, the power sword's now a power weapon, the las pistol is a shuriken pistol, and they've still got the 4+ save. The Banshee mask now just lets the Banshee strike first in the first round of any assault, even if they're the ones charged. They're still pretty decent. Now, the Exarch. It's now an upgrade for the unit. 16 points for the upgrade, weapon skill 5, blitz skill 5, strength 3, toughness 3, runes 1, initiative 6, attacks 2, leadership 9, and a 3+ save. Base equipment is the same, but it gets changed the power weapon for an Executioner for 5 points, or Power Blades also for 5 points. The Executioner is a power weapon that requires 2 hands, but does give the Exarch +2 strength. Nice. And the Power Blades are a power weapon that grants an extra attack. Exarch power-wise, they're allowed 2. War Shout for 20 points, and Acrobatics for 8. War Shout makes the enemy take a leadership test when the Exarch uses a mask in combat, and if the enemy fails, the weapon's used reduced by 1 for the assault phase. It's alright. Acrobatics meanwhile lets them reposition themselves at the start of combat to get to the target you want them to. The Wraith Serpent is now a transport option for them, and they all have the Fleet of Foot special rule as well. So yeah, Banshees at the core haven't changed too much, it's merely just how the mask functioned. The big change is the fact the Exarch is now a core part of the unit, and no longer fully customizable, with it way more tailored to them. Still, owing to 4th edition, and yeah, they got another model upgrade again. Statline wise, no change. And points haven't changed either, neither is unit size. The equivalent for the Banshees themselves, well, the only changes the Banshee mask, now made them initiative 10 in the first round of combat, and enemies lose initiative bonuses from cover and grenades. Still does the same thing, really. Exarch now costs 12 points to upgrade, still has the Executioner as an option for 10 points, and the Power Blades are now Mirror Swords and 10 points. They have gained a new weapon, the Skelly. 5 points, and it has 2 modes. Ranged, range 12, strength 3, AP 2, assault 3, in close combat, it's just a power weapon. War Shout is now 5 points, and enemy units in the first round of an assault must pass a morale check, or their weapon skill 1 for that round. Hey, we're seeing some of the old Banshee mask back here. Acrobatics is 5 points, and it grants the whole unit the counter-attack special roll. The Wraith Serpent is still around, and they get Fleet of Foot. So yeah, again, at the core the Banshees haven't changed too much. Really, it's the Exarch getting a decent amount of buffs of their powers and new weapon option, really. So, the Eldar didn't have a 5th edition codex. It's actually the only edition they haven't had a codex when I think about it. And we then move straight to 6. And did the stat line change? Nope. It's still 75 points for 5 of them, and you can have up to 5 more at 15 points each. The equipment: Power Sword, Shuriken Pistol, and the Banshee Mask. The Banshee Mask has been changed again, and it now gives a -5 initiative debuff on the turn they charge to a minimum of 1. The Exarch is now 10 points. The Executioner is 10 points. Strength +2, AP2 two-handed. The Triskele for 5 points. Range 12, Strength 3, AP 3, Assault 3, and in combat it's just AP 3. The Mirror Swords are now AP 3, Mastercrafted for 10 points. The powers have changed for the Exarch, and they can take up to 2 of the following. Fear for 5 points. They gain the Fear roll. Disarming Strike for 10 points, which, if in a challenge, before the models do anything, you roll a d6. For both of them. If the Exarch's weapons goes higher, it gets +1. If the Exarch wins, they make one of the enemy's weapons just be a close combat weapon, losing any rules it has. So a Lightning Claw becomes a Claw. Granted, if the enemy has no melee weapons, or just a close combat weapon, this doesn't do anything. Shield of Grace for 10 points. Again, it's for a challenge, but before striking, the Exarch can choose to lose an attack. But doing so, gains a +3 invul save. Not bad, trade-off. Special Rise, but they've got a few now. They're still Fleet of Foot. They've now gained Battle Focus. They can shoot and then run, or run and then shoot the weapons. And being acrobatic, when they do so, they gain d6 +3 running. They've also gained Ancient Doom, as most Eldar did, gaining hatred against Demon Slash and Mark Slash models, those suffering martial penalty against fear tests caused by them. Is the Wraith Serpent still around? Yep. So yet again, most changes come to the Exarch, with the Banshees themselves really are getting changes because of the army rules, really. Now then, 7th edition. Stat change? Well, yes, but only to the Exarch. Their save is now 4+. Oh. But they now have 2 runes. Oh. The Banshees are now 13 points. Stat line wise, nothing changed, and the equipment's still the same, but the Banshee Mask has been altered again. They now cause fear, and models can't overwatch them. Huh. The Exarch is 10 points. It's got the same equipment options as before, but the Exarch power, well, War Shout is now built in, and gives -2 leadership to units in combat with the Exarch. Social wise, they've got Fleet, Acrobatic, Ancient Doom, and Battle Focus. They can also still have a Wraith Serpent. Yeah, this one, they definitely got simplified a bit. But the Exarch getting 2 runes isn't too bad. And so we move into the more modern space. And hello, model update. So, 8th edition. Movement 8, Weapon Skill 3+, Blitz Skill 3+, Strength 3, Toughness 3, Runes 1, Attacks 2, Leadership 8, 4+ save. The Exarch, meanwhile, has the same profile, but +1 attack and rune now. The unit contains at least 5 models, and allowed to 5 more, and they're coming in at 13 points now. And the Exarch? You just picked a Banshee and go, congratulations, you're an Exarch now. Head pat. Still, the Banshees have Shuriken Pistols, Power Swords, and the Masks, which now just mean they can't be overwatched. Oh dear. The Exarch, meanwhile, can have the Executioner, which is now 7 points, +1 strength, AP -3, D3 damage. The Power Blades are still around also, 4 points, AP -2 damage 1, reroll failed hit rolls, and the Triskele is still around, 6 points, range 12, assault 3, strength 4, AP -2, damage 1, and yeah, it's just, I think you can guess what the melee profile is going to be, just remove the ranged assault. Special rules, well, still got the Ancient Doom and Battle Focus as main Eldar rules, but being Banshees, they have Acrobatic, so they can advance and charge, and they get +3 to the charge result, So yes, they can charge something that's potentially 15 inches away. The Exarch has War Shout, making enemies be -1 to hit them when fighting the Banshees. So yeah, 8th basically took their 7th edition forms and just made that work in 8th. So how about 9th? Ooh, they got some work in 9th. So, stat line wise, the Banshees and Exarch both gain attack from 8th edition. Still squads are 5 to 10, and now 18 points a model. Equipment? Well, let's take a look at the Banshee mask first, shall we? When you charge a unit, they cannot overwatch or set to defend. Also, if an enemy is within engagement range after the Banshee's charged, they can't fight until all eligible units have done so. Yeah, that's something. Also, their power sword is now the Banshee Blade. Strength +1, AP -4, damage 1. Shuriken Pistol is not the Banshee Pistol, it's still just a Shuriken Pistol. So what about the Exarch then? The Executioner is 5 points, +2 strength, AP -3 and damage 2. The Strel is actually 3. 12-inch range, strength 5, assault 3, AP -3, damage 1, and its melee profile, strength +1, AP -3, damage 1. The mirror swords are also 3. Strength +1, AP -3, damage 1, and each time the Exarch attacks, they make 2 hit rolls instead of 1. Also, the Exarch's powers are back! Graceful Avoidance is 20 points, and gives the Exarch and their unit a 4+ invulnerable save in close combat. Nurturing Shriek is 10 points, and once the Banshees have finished doing a charge, choose one enemy unit in engagement range, and the Exarch rolls a d6. On a 2+, they suffer a mortal wound, and subtract 1 from their combat attrition tests. Piercing Strikes is 15 points, and all the Exarch's attacks do +1 damage in melee. Special rule-wise, well, got Battle Focus and Strands of Fate, still Eldar, but their Aspect Armor got a buff. It now has a 5+ invul save. Well, you can't say no to that. Whirling Death lets them add 1 to rune rolls on the turn they charge. Very nice. Acrobatics lets them advance and charge, and attacks against them in combat at -1 to hit now. Yeah, 9th edition Banshees are mean. They got one heck of an overhaul, and on the turn they charge with their new equipment and buffs, yeah, no, they can do some serious damage. And so, we then come to 10th edition. 5 costing you 85 points, and 10 costing you 170. So, stat-wise now. Movement 8, Toughness 3, Save 4+, Wound 1, Leadership 6, OC -1 with 4+ invul save in melee, and 5+ otherwise. So hey, their Exarch buffs just built into them now. Speaking of, the Exarch has +1 attack. Equipment, High Shuriken Pistol. The Banshee Blade is now attacks 2, weapon skill 2+, strength 4, AP -2, damage 2, anti-infantry 3+. Can't say no to that. The Banshee Mask, it's no longer a piece of war gear. Though, for every 5 models, they get an Aspect Shrine token now. Now, what about the Exarch's weapons? Well, they're all anti-infantry 3+. The Executioner is now attacks 3, weapon skill 2+, strength 6, AP -3, damage 3. Mirror Swords, attacks 4, weapon skill 2+, strength 4, armor save -2, damage 2, and there's your Skelly, range 12, attacks 3, let's skill 3+, strength 3, AP -1, damage 1, and in combat, attack 6, weapon skill 2+, strength 3, AP -1, damage 1. So, special rules. Well, they have fight first, so hey, the mask's now just a roll. They also have battle focus from the faction, and are still acrobatic, which lets them card charge if they advance or fall back. Also, their Aspect Shrine tokens let them once per battle change a hit or wound roll to a 6. And yeah, that is their 10th edition forms. Still nasty in melee, but as of a lot of 10th edition, streamlined a bit more. And that is the Howling Banshees as they are right now. They've been fairly consistent for the most part. Really, it came down to the mask and the Exarch where most of the changes have been. Still, they have always been a solid fighting force for the Eldar, letting them cut out enemy troops with ease.